Welcome back to the Dominici Daily Show. Thank you for being here. I am with Professor Paul Derby of Sociology at VTSU Castleton from Fort Edward, New York. Thank you for being with me, seriously.
Nice to be here, thank you.
So, most people know you as a sociology professor, but you have a very multifaceted life, and as we previously just spoke about, your hair band, I would like you to try to get into that a little bit to start.
Sure. That was an important part of my life. So, out of high school, I did pretty well in high school, and I decided to go to Adirondack Community College, it was then. And at that time, they kind of put you in a major. And I did a lot of math and science, so they put me in engineering physics. And I tried that the first semester. I didn't really like it, but more so, I wasn't really into college. I was sort of playing in a rock and roll band at the time. I had an offer from a really good band to come and play with them, so I kind of failed out and dropped out of college at the time in my first year. And then for the next 7 or 8 years, I played in what I'll call a 1980s hair rock guitar based band. That was my career, and we did pretty well. We traveled all over New England. We had agents, we had roadies, we had trucks and light shows, and we were quite popular and did pretty well at it. And I learned a lot. I wasn't an avid reader in high school when I started, but I met so many interesting people in the band and just perspectives I never thought about, in books that they told me about. I just started learning just different things, really interesting things in books I'd never thought about. And it made me really want to learn more. And in the 80s, as with many 80s bands, we had an opportunity to go off to California, but the history is like every rockumentary. There was a lot of drug use and cocaine going on.
Yeah.
Not for me, but there were others. And at some point I just said, I'm done. I'd taken some classes. I wanted to go back to college.
What was the name of the band?
It was called Panache.
Panache? Oh, okay. What's that mean?
It means style, or style in action in French.
Okay.
I didn't come up with a name, but I joined that band. It was a very good band.
What instrument did you play?
I played keyboards.
Oh, okay.
I played rhythm guitar, and I was the lead singer. We all sort of sang, but I was kind of the lead singer in that band. And had really long, crazy hair, and loved it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was hard to leave, but it was something I had to do. Then I went back to Adirondack Community College, and I took a major in business administration because it seemed like, okay, now I need to get on with life. And I enjoyed it, and I took accounting classes. I really liked that. And there was an opening for an accounting tutor. So I began tutoring accounting, loved it, and that's kind of when I figured out teaching was fun for me to do, to help other people. So I got that degree in business administration, but my favorite teacher was a psychology teacher, and he really his message resonated with me. And a lot of it was about experiencing the bigger world. So, when I graduated, I went to SUNY Oneonta, to major in psychology, which I did. So I have a 2-year degree in business, a 4-year BA in psychology. But I also met a philosophy professor that I loved, in fact, a couple of them, and in particular, anthropology professor. So I took a bunch of classes, everything I could get in anthro and in philosophy. So I ended up actually with 2 degrees at Oneonta, both psychology and a double major in philosophy, which everybody should take philosophy, because that, is thinking.
I loved my philosophy with Lawler here. Great professor.
Tremendous.
Great course.
Yeah, everybody should be forced to take at least some.
I agree. Riffing off of your experience as an educator, do you have a most memorable student or class or group that stuck out to you, or someone that went on to do anything in the field that you thought was really cool?
So I've taught at a bunch of different places. I taught, actually, when I got after my PhD, I first went back and taught at Adirondack. And I taught ethics, philosophy, which I loved. And I taught at Siena College. I taught part-time here at Castleton in Green Mountain, and also a little bit at Syracuse as a grad student. And I guess my answer to that would be, there were many students over time that I know have done very well. There are some students that just love it when I can see that they are thinking about things. And no matter whether I was in a small private school or a community college or a state school, I think students are pretty much the same everywhere. You know, some are really engaged, some really get it. Some I can see are struggling and maybe don't want to be there. And I can say, from my experience, lots of things to do in life. You can always come back to school. So if you want to go and search for another path, you can do that too. But I guess to answer your questions, I've had students that have gone on to be medical doctors and are teaching in college. So yeah.
I also learned you did, I don't know which state, but I learned you did a semester in the Southwest. If you want to, New Mexico, if you want to talk about that a little.
So I think my favorite teaching experience has been the Castleton semester in the American Southwest. And just for a little background, when I was an undergraduate at Oneonta, there was a summer semester in 6 weeks in the Southwest. I just did it because it sounded interesting. I didn't know anything about the Southwest. It was done by a cultural anthropologist, and we went there and we went to all these amazing archaeological sites, like Mesa Verde in Colorado, Chaco Canyon
that sounds
in
amazing.
New Mexico. It was fabulous. And it just opened my eyes to like, oh, there's all this other stuff. And in part that's why I became an anthropologist too, because this was cool. And back when we started the semester in the Southwest, 2010, Castleton had more students than they could house. So one of the things the administration asked us to do was to take students off campus to go on these semesters. So myself and another professor, Liza Myers, who lived in Santa Fe at the time, New Mexico, we developed the semester in the Southwest, where we would take somewhere between 15 and 25 students for the entire fall semester. And we were based on in Santa Fe, New Mexico. We traveled throughout the Four Corners, Colorado, Utah, Arizona. We camped out most of the time.
Wow.
We went to all these archaeological sites. We went to the Grand Canyon. We did a river rafting trip. And every place we went, the students were totally learning about things. But it was fun. They enjoyed it. We spent very little time in a classroom.
That sounds amazing.
Experiencing. We spent a lot of time with the Native American cultures there, the Puebloan people, who were great. We had sat and had dinner with them, went to festivals, and the students just got so much out of it. Some had profoundly changed their lives.
And they asked you to do that because there were so many kids they
Yeah,
couldn't house
actually
them?
at the time we didn't have enough residence halls or things.
Wow.
And of course, overall numbers across colleges have decreased some. But at that time we were like a booming place.
Currently, you are part-time, right?
So I retired full-time almost a year ago?
Oh, okay. So recent.
Yeah, a year and a half ago.
Well, then let me riff there. Why? Is it because you love it so much, or what is enticing you to not just kick back your feet and chill and eat some potato chips and enjoy retirement?
So I love teaching. I wouldn't have retired. I retired because when they conglomerated into the Vermont State University, they were cutting professors. And to save jobs for young professors, I took what they call a buyout. I was at the age where I could retire. They paid me a sum of money, so I retired. So I did it really to help others, and also I could. And then I was asked if I wanted to come back and teach part-time, and I'm like, sure. I'm loving it.
That's awesome. All right, thank you so much, Professor.
Oh, you got it.
This has been the Dominici Daily Show. Thank you very much for joining us.